Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Minotaur Hotel. I'm your host, Will, and this is.
I'm Pikamain, and my most used emote
Shut
is
up!
currently
No!
my
Bad!
most used
Nah!
emoji is empty.
Shut up! We do not need to know that! Anyway, last episode. This episode,
We don't remember.
No, it's been like fucking months. Actually, I can check how long it's been. Are you ready to see how old we are? What? Why did I say that? Anyway, do you want to know how long ago it's been?
Sure.
Over a month. Anyway. Yes. Visual novel. Boom. Let's continue. Yes. Yes. Once more, you're enveloped by sunlight dripping from the skyline. Your echoing footsteps have a sonority to them, a tinge of life in this abandoned hotel. Once you reach the ground floor, however, your path becomes darker. Your footsteps now sound shy in front of an oppressive veil. The 25th floor cannot come soon enough. A plaque on the featureless wall greets you. The door flickers in front of you with a similar eagerness. The hallway extends far into the distance, sides lined with all sorts of objects. Armor sets, furniture, statues, treasure chests full of trinkets from all ages. What do? As you reach the corridor, you take a moment to examine your surroundings. It's more text.
Or text.
It's more text.
Ah.
You take a moment to examine your surroundings. Off to the side, you notice a long display case with what appears to be sets of armor on mannequins. There's about a dozen different models, although they all vary a lot from each other. They seem to have been made over multiple centuries. They all seem lightweight and not meant for large-scale warfare. A small plaque off to the side has Hotel Guard's armor sets written on it, alongside the years in which each of the sets was manufactured. The oldest one dates back to the 14th century. It would seem, however, that the collection is not complete. There's one mannequin whose armor is partially missing. It has a purple sash tied to its waist. There is not much else to see in the armor sets. You proceed down the hallway. As you reach the corridor's ends, the objects take a sharp turn to what you would expect from a museum on ancient Greece. There's the wall painting Asterion told you about. Right in front of it is a sealed bottle of wine. It's covered in dust. Its label is faded. You obtained a wine bottle. Off to the side, there's a glass case containing a jagged purple rock in the shape of a double-headed axe head. It drips an oily, dark red liquid down the case. The goo has pooled on the case's bottom, wafting an unpleasant, bloody stench. The case is locked by an old padlock. You've got what you came here for. You make your way back upstairs. The setting sun's orange tones color the entire apartment. It turns the suspended dust in the air into thousands of sparkling diamonds. Three of your master's cravings stare at you, wide-eyed and beckoning you further into the quarters. The smell of old dust seems so small compared to how sweetly the room welcomes you. If a place could ever be alive, and if it could ever be naked, this is it. The hotel itself embraces you, its intimacy laid bare. Nothing moves, and Asterion is nowhere to be seen. Silence reigns, save for a faint hum of life. You leave the wine bottle on the living room table. You delve deeper into your quarters, and the hum grows louder and sharper. It's like breathing, ragged and pain. the dust visible under the sunlight shudders. The sound is coming from the office. Asterion standing over the desk, his back to you, sobbing. Footsteps are not enough to make him aware of your presence. The Minotaur sobs again and again, each one coming from deeper inside him. They begin meek, hardly more than a snort, but he lays his hands on the desk and curls forward, vertebrae just sharply from his deathly thin skin, made more obvious by how he hunches over. He spits out a sob from the depths of his lungs. It then bursts. He breaks into wave after wave of grunts and half-muffled screams. He presses his face against the desk and claws at it, leaving his marks in the pristine wood until he falls to the ground, coiled up like a child. He sees you, then, with his tear-drenched eye and ignores your presence. Master or not, you are too small. He curls further into himself, mouth covered by his hands, and he lets out another muffled yell. The Minotaur's voice breaks midway through it and he goes silent, even if his mouth is locked in agony. But Asterion looks up to you, aware of your presence, and makes no effort to hide or cower. In fact, he tries to speak, but you can't understand his slurred words. Not that his voice has a tone of welcoming.
Pat, pat.
You cross the gap separating the two of you one step at a time. Astarion's eyes does not avert from you. You sit by his side, back to the desk, and only then his gaze droops down to the floor into further sobbing. You drape an arm over his shoulder and pull him to you. The Minotaur doubles down on his crying, now muffled by your shirt. His fingers dig into you. They'd hurt were he not so emaciated. You rub the back of his head and let the Minotaur go at his own pace. As the sun sets further, darkening the room, his crying grows quieter and more discreet as well. When all is dark except for the stars shining beyond the window, Astarion's hands relax and he slouches fully into your chest. He almost seems to be asleep, but he catches his eye looking up at you. Astarion's pacified, but you give him a few more minutes to make sure. His fingers dig at you one last time right as he sighs. Pat him on the back and help him up. He says nothing about what just happened, but accepts your hand, and when you leave the office, he stays close by your side. Back in the living room, you guide Asterion to the sofa. He sits without questioning, but accompanies you with his gaze as you open the wine bottle and bring it over to him. Who's the main character again?
I think it was you.
Fuck you, of course it is. It was just where you said it'd be. Asterion caresses the bottle.
Thank you.
Jesus Christ, I forgot how raspy you made his voice.
Cheers.
Asterion forgoes using a glass entirely. He leans his head to the side so the wine doesn't drip from his exposed jawbone and drinks straight from the bottle. He savors the first gulp. He sighs, leaning his head back, and lets out a groan as his entire body relaxes. Then he returns to the bottle, this time drinking in earnest. From the corner of his eye, he looks at you. A twinge of shame spreads on his face as a drop or two of the wine drop from his exposed jaw. It doesn't take long for his arms start shaking, however. From his emaciated musculature, holding the position for long is a challenge. You raise up a glass. Asterion takes the hint with a sideways smile.
Once more, rightfully sorry, master. Sometimes the face gets the best of me.
Even with the glass, he wastes no time and drinks the entire contents of the bottle without stopping, going so far as to shake the bottle to get the last drops. Asterion leans back on the sofa, a half smile painted on his face.
Thank you so much for the wine, Master. I feel better already. It won't be long now before it starts taking effect.
Don't mention it. It was nothing.
Is that so, Master? If it's not impertinent of me, would you answer a few questions?
Sure. I don't see how that could be a problem.
I wish to know about the war. How did it end?
War? Which war?
The second war, the conflicts between the Allies and the Axis. France was occupied. How did it end? Does France still exist?
Maybe you should go get some water.
Why? Why?
Because of the voice you're doing!
I already have a water bottle.
Oh, okay.
Girl.
Girl! Yes, it does. France is doing fine. The Allies won the war. A lot of stuff happened since then. You briefly tell him France's history and after the Second World War, especially the aftermath of the war.
Oh, I'm so relieved to hear that. I spent all those years locked away thinking about it. Master John Murray talked so many times about France. Paris, this and that, but also about the countryside. The fields of lavender, the fragrance, the vineyards, all sorts of wine. Master John Murray could never go a meal without a glass. He grew up in a village near Bordeaux. Yes, he always said his village's wine was the best. Period. Master John Murray fought in the Great War too. He found his way to the hotel as a guest himself. A shell-shocked young man fresh off the battlefield. He inherited the deed from the previous master, and his rule over the hotel was sight to behold. He was very kind, had a preference for bringing in victims of war. Wasn't easy caring for so many amputees and shell-shocked men, but it was worth it. He loved it here, but I suppose he loved France the most. I couldn't dissuade him from returning home to liberate his country. He died in 1944. I felt it right when it happened. Felt the bullet going through my head in the middle of the night. 1 week later, the next master arrived. John Murray left the will, giving the hotel's deed to his brother, Master Clement. Clement wasn't bad at first, was very eager to please, to be of use to the guest, but there was something in him. Agreed, I suppose. To merely be liked wasn't enough, you see. He and Master John Murray differed greatly. John Murray had a vision to bring comfort to those affected by war. Clement, on the other hand, didn't want to be liked, but worshipped. Yet, he had his eyes on a guest, a woman who wielded his mind in the palm of her hand. I can only believe it went badly. And so he saw what he did to me. The guests are gone, and the hotel has been left to rot.
Straight people are wild.
I had a glimpse of the beginning of madness in these eyes. I am no fool. It was clear he was no sane man, but I hoped he'd be harmless.
You have your suspicions, but decide to hold your tongue. Asterion looks up to the ceiling. His voice is relaxed now, almost soothing, but it carries a spike of sobriety.
But, sir, if once again you would accept it, I have a question. That one, however, may be out of place for me as keeper.
You give him permission.
The labyrinth was created to torture me as punishment for my crime. But over the years, the human masters chose to impose a different will onto this realm. It began with a young man who took pity on me, and over the generations, it became a haven for the lost. Each master had a different vision for it. We had a good run. A few good centuries ever since we started. Until we saw the more came along. I wish to know your intentions. That is awfully out of place for me as prisoner. You are my captor, and I shall obey whatever your will may be. Nonetheless, I wish to have my impertinent question answered, if it's not too much. Is it your will to carry on the hotel's mission? To offer sanctuary to those lost and alone with nowhere to go? I should let you know, before you answer, that I am used to suffering. I've been through a lot worse than what you saw yesterday.
Today.
So, your will. If your will is to torture me, like Master Clement did, then you need not pretend. However, you accepted my oath, took me into your service, and now you treated me with kindness. I would believe, then, that you are not like him. So tell me, is it your wish to uphold the hotel's mission to provide respite for those in need? Be honest, if you will. My servitude, regardless of your choice, as I have none myself.
Do you wish to uphold the hotel's mission? I want to do the right thing, Asterion. It may be hard for you to see that now, but I'm telling you the truth. I'd like to do what's best for the hotel and for you, which is why I have to ask. Can't I set you free? I'm your master, after all. It's not right to keep anyone as a slave. If I can, I want to set you free. Asterion looks off to the side, biting his fingernails. The words did not have much of a soothing effect on him.
That is kind of you, Master. But it cannot be done. My sentence is for eternity, and I cannot escape it. There have been a handful, Master, who had said words much like yours. They have good intentions, but cannot be realized. I cannot escape my servitude.
The Minotaur looks at you, biting his nails. His eye shifts to and fro. Very well. In this case, I will help hold the hotel's mission. I want to be a good master. That hotel into you. Asterion does not answer at first. Only his first deep breathing cuts the room's silence.
So long. I don't know for how many years I was locked away. I must admit, the mere thought of asking gives me chills. Master, can you imagine? For centuries, I've been tending to this hotel. It was my mercy that saved me from torture and gave me purpose. It was hard work, and not all masters have been kind over the centuries, but wonderful nonetheless. I enjoy every moment of it. And then, Sir John Marie died. Could have done more. Try and stop him. I should have. Then came Clement. I am used to pain, but I am accustomed to having people, a mission, a purpose. Being locked away didn't hurt half as much as having my guests kicked out. Today, you freed me, took me into your service, and now you tell me you wish me a good master. The hotel and me. Allow me to speak frankly. I am afraid of you. Terribly so. You are my jailer. Over the centuries, I grew comfortable with enjoying my master. But after Clement, it all comes back to me. I am so afraid of what you can do to me and the hotel. There's no choice but to obey your every command. I am so sorry for saying this. It's profoundly a place for the keeper to ever address the master in such a way. I suppose that even if I'm afraid of you, I lost my fear of pain and overstepping boundaries. All of that said, despite my fear, I find myself wanting to believe you.
Asterion gets up from the sofa and walks up to you. He's clearly tipsy, stumbling about as he approaches. The Minotaur kneels before you.
I wish dearly for your words to be true. I am not afforded choice on whether or not I shall obey you. I am a prisoner. But if indeed your words are true, if your heart truly is set on being a good master, then I shall follow you. Not duty, but and where I am allowed true freedom, I would remain by your side. I swore to serve you, and now I swear to follow you.
That's the
Sorry.
Asterion.
For as long as you hold your word, for as long as your words hold true.
He looks up to you. The room is dark, lit only by moonlight coming through the window. But you can see a glimmer in the Minotaur's eye. You pull him from his kneeling position into a hug. He is light, barely heavier than a child. In your arms, he is stiff and cold. Just as your hand struck his back, he returns the gesture and nuzzles his muzzle on your shoulder. He sniffles once, twice, presses his face into your neck.
Thank you, master.
He breathes in deeply, as if learning your scent. Jesus Christ. Night quickly settles. I completely forgot that to go to sleep.
Oh.
The hotel has no electricity, but you can do with candles. Your shadow and Asterion slither on the walls, trembling alongside the flickering flames. The master's quarters are filled with the velvety sounds of life. Breathing, footsteps, furniture creaking around under you. From outside, passerby would see this ruined hotel with a single candlelit window. If he perchance tried exploring it, he'd only find unending hallways of black and white marble tiles echoing with the rustling of his clothes. He could seek out the comfort of this candlelit room, but would never find it, locked away as it is behind a doorless wall. Silence strips back over the two of you. More often than not, Asterion is turned towards you, following with his gaze. Just when you realize how hungry you are, he summons a humble feast for you. Fruit, cheese, water, even a regular bottle of wine.
Jeez!
Congrats. He turns his back to you to set the table. Stumbles a bit, and a few apples roll off to the ground. You catch him give you a sideways glance. His nostrils flare under his nervous breathing. Asterion seizes. His back broadens as he breathes in, and then his shoulders slouch forward with his exhale. He kisses back at you, as if trying to say something, and after a few seconds he returns to setting the table. His tail flicks behind him, perhaps even with some chirpness. When dinner is ready, he presents it to you with a half smile on his lips. The candlelit dinner is simple and uneventful. Any offer to have Asterion eat alongside you is brushed off with a shake of his head. It is a long, deliberate movement. A single ear whips to and fro beside his head. You ask him if there is any way to restore the hotel's electricity.
Yes. We slide hotel's heart, and for that, we must use a special object. It is a set of bronze mirrors that focus sunlight. It generates a pure flame. It will bring the entire hotel back to life.
Shortly after, with nothing else to do for the night, the both of you find rest in your respective rooms. And that's where we're gonna end the episode. No, but I want to keep going. At the end of Hades. Minotaur dreams. For Athens and Sparta, there was Crete, where Zeus was born and raised. Wild goats left their cloven marks on its slopes, carved out from cooled magma from the age of the Titans. Its soil, rich and hard, bore the promise of prosperity. Crete was a cradle, safe and fertile from early mankind, as it was for Zeus, first of the Olympians. His son, Minos I, made his way there and became its founder and king. When death came for him, Minos was made judge of the dead. His lineage bore many kings of Crete, the prosperous cradle of man. There was another who carried the name of Minos, a man who made a pact with Poseidon, god of the sea. From the foamy waters, the Olympian sent a white bull to signal his favor, and in turn, the man promised to sacrifice it. But Minos took for himself that which was meant for the gods. For his hubris, Poseidon cursed his household. His wife, Pasiphae, was struck with lust for the beast and ordered the legendary craftsman Daedalus to craft a hollow heifer.
A heifer.
Time to look it up!
Are we sure we want to?
Yes. Heifer, any young female domestic bovine that has not produced offspring.
Ah. Ah. I didn't know this about Greek mythology.
Wait,
Was it Roman?
what? What did you say?
It's Greek mythology, right?
Yes, it's Greek mythology.
Okay, just had
What did you think it was? Roman? If you say yes, I'm going to shrink. It's Greek and Athens. It's not Rome and whatever the fuck. And also, Poseidon is called Neptune in Roman mythology.
Ah. Oh.
Pasiphae took the bull's lurch and became pregnant with its child. So was born the Minotaur. Pasiphae's infamy survives. Crete fell in favor of Athens, which in turn was dragged away by Rome, which too was consumed by time. But Pasiphae's disgrace remains. Much like the tale of the cannibal half-breed she birthed survives. But for the Minotaur, she was mom. And she called him Asterion, her starry-eyed son. He drank from her breast like any boy, and he played with his siblings even if his visage betrayed the sin which begat him. The Minotaur dreams of the vast field of white asphodel flowers, where he'd go with his sister, Adrian, holding her fingers, where they would sit by a tree and he'd nap with his head on her thighs. Asterion dreams of Crete, the place of Knossos, where he was raised, and of his inescapable fate, the labyrinth crafted by Daedalus, where he met his end. Before the first hairs of a bird would have sprouted were he fully human, he was carted off to a stone labyrinth deep within one of Crete's valleys. The exit was blocked off, and he was left only with an axe he could hardly raise. A decade passed before a visitor came. Asterion could no longer think. Language had escaped his mind altogether, so lonely had he become. His visitor, Theseus, had crossed the sea for the Minotaur's head. The hero accepted a battle, but found only a beast deserving of mercy. Asterion did not reject the hero's pity. At last, he dreams of the Asphodel Meadows. It's a mercy. It's the end of his suffering. But he awakens to the labyrinth again. He jumps from dream to reflection. Masters Jean-Marie and Clement, the cold room, the new master, freedom from the darkness, food and wine. Saren grasps at the dusty sheets. It's been decades since he slept on a bed. He feels no bed sores on his back. Instead, the cold room stench there is only the slightly moldy smell of his cold old room. His lips, half bull, half skeletal, threaten to curl into a smile. But doubt eats away at him, churns in his stomach. I just realized he has his full mouth now. The wine did take effect.
Yeah.
The Minotaur unceremoniously rises and opens the closet. No matter what comes next, he must work, and then work some more. While he checks his garments, he mumbles an old poem from memory.
You came, and you did well to come. I longed for you, and you brought fire to my heart, which burns high for you.
Sorry, that was an important message to get out.
I think I know which one.
These old clothes don't fit him. The Minotaur makes it clear how much of a disgrace he is. The gaping, fleshless hole in his skull makes its ichor bubble and threaten to burst from his mouth. But he's less of a disgrace than he was the day before. For the last 8 years, there is some mercy in that. He forces a tough smile and goes out. As soon as he steps out, however, his ear flicks. He catches a distant tune, chirpy, one would say even joyous. It is faint but unmistakable. The smile disappears from his face.
And we're going to see what that is next episode. Oh, but I want to continue.
Well, but it's been 30 minutes, and that's usually where I try to aim my episodes to be, so... I hope that you enjoyed this episode of Minotaur Hotel. If you did, like, comment, and subscribe to any of those things in any order. I don't really mind. And if the content in my channel was not enough to satisfy you, you can go over to Pikamain's channel.
We also read visual novels. What I usually try to do is voice attempts. Although recently I can... I don't know, it's been kind of like on and off for both. If I'm just shifting between them.
That's
I'm
fine.
taking more time. I'm spending some more time on my voice attempts. Is what I'm trying to say.
And so that means that he has more time for me.
Well, to post with me. I mean. To read visual novels. Anyway, even if you're
What was
only...
that about?
What?
What was that about?
What was that about? It was the suggestion that I did before we even started recording, Pikamain. I meant about promises to keep.
Oh.
You know, we want to get through Sienye so that maybe you will accept doing promises to keep.
Anyway, even if you're only here for this episode, but with all of that out of the way, even if you're only here for this episode, I hope that you have a lovely rest of your day. Bye bye, everyone.
I think my phone is.